Okay, so the first thing that I think that I really like in books is when I see a character who comes from either nothing or very little, and they have to build up either it's a personality trait um, or just the way that they're living throughout the book. Because a lot of books focus more on, say, like a mystery book would focus on uh, like solving the mystery, while there would be subtle character changes throughout the book. I like books that really focus on the main character and focus on making them either a better person or making them have a better living arrangement. And in this book that I'm reading right now, Dear Rachel Maddow, it's about a girl who her brother just died, um, and she just broke up with her girlfriend, um, and so she's pretty unmotivated to do anything at all. She's really just at the very lowest point in her life, and she just doesn't know what to do. Um, so she's kind of lost. She gets put into a school system in the basement of her school, which she really, really doesn't like. And she isn't really learning anything, and she's like I said before, unmotivated to learn anything. Um, so throughout the book, you see how she starts becoming interested in things again, and she starts focusing on her education more, and just building up everything that she lost. Uh, so another uh, another thing that really helps me choose what book I'm going to read is, even though they say don't judge a book by its cover, I usually judge a book by its cover. Um, like when I see something, one of my number one rules when choosing books is if I see a picture of somebody's face on the book cover, I usually don't get it. If it's like in Portugal 50 or in this book, it's like a drawing or some kind of a graphic of someone, I don't mind that. But um, for some reason, whenever I see a picture of somebody's face, I think of the book. Um, like my experience of reading books with pictures of people's faces have generally been bad, so I guess I just have a bias against it. Um, yeah. What about you? What kind of things do you focus on when you're uh, looking for books?
Well, when I'm looking for books, I guess I look in like I read the what is it called?
The inside cover,
Yeah, I
the
read
blurb.
the blurb in the book, and if I like it, I'll take it. And but sometimes when I read it and when I kind of get into it and I don't like it, um, I can like put it back. And in this book, it's nonfiction, and it's about like the Navy and during the Civil War, like I think it was not the Civil War. I'm so sorry. The like World War II, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in Portugal 50, it was African Americans couldn't really like do anything. So, and when they were going in the Navy, they got so excited because they really thought they were going to do anything. And then when they got there, they were like on like a mess crew, and they like wouldn't help with anything. They wouldn't like trust them with anything.
But they were doing like the dangerous work, right? Kind
Yeah,
of like
they were doing like really dangerous work, like loading in bombs and like gunpowder and stuff like that. That can really harm them in a way, but they don't care because it's not them being harmed. And this book um, is about like something happened when they were on the port, and I think like a lot of people, I think a lot of people died, and So they let the African Americans go back home to their where they live, and they don't want to be there anymore. They just didn't find like a good place there. They weren't happy. They weren't treated fairly. So they didn't want to go back. And then the Navy threatened them, and some of them went back because like when you get threatened, like you don't want anything to happen like to
Right.
yourself or your family. So like a lot of people went back, and a lot of people didn't because they just didn't think that even though you threatened me, like I'm not gonna stand here and be like we're not puppets. So yeah, and this was a time for the civil rights movement. So they really, you know,
So, do you think that if this book hadn't been required reading, you would have picked it out if somebody had like recommended it to you and you had read the blurb?
To be honest, no, not really. But I like it so far. It's good, and I think it's really interesting because you can learn about like more things like other than like when people talk about the civil rights movement, they obviously think like Ruby Bridges or like the boycott or like Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King, but they don't really. There's other things that was going on with that too, so
Right.
it's really nice to explore other things. So yeah, this is why I like it.
Yeah. Very informative book.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the times, like when I'm choosing out a book, I usually also look at if the title stands out to me, like Port Chicago 50. That makes me think, like, what's the 54? Why did they say 50? I know now after reading it that it's the 50 people that actually stayed, or that actually stayed standing up for their rights.
Mhm.
And I think again with my book too. When I saw this book, I saw Dear Rachel Maddow, and Rachel Maddow is a newscaster on MSNBC, and I've watched her show for like a long time now,
Mhm.
and I really enjoy her show. So when I saw this, I was very excited to read it, which was another reason why I picked up this book. But
For the Chicago 50, it wouldn't be like my first choice of picking a book, but like I really enjoy it. Like I don't really like nonfiction books, but I think I'm starting to like them because they like open your knowledge more on other like concepts and things
absolutely,
that we didn't really know about before. So
yeah.
yeah.